on construction sites, but today I've come into the virtual construction site because I've come here to Tenstar's headquarters in the UK. Simon Hogg is the Tenstar Simulation Specialist, and I've come to have a look at a brand new thing they've added to their system here, and that's the GKD Technologies height and slew restrictors. Simon, first of all, before we get to talk about that and the other elements, tell me about the massive importance of simulators, because I'm seeing them everywhere at the moment.
Thanks, Peter, and hello everybody. Yes, we're currently stood with a simulator for the tracked 360 excavator, but if you look at other industries, military, medical, aviation, they all use simulation technology in some form to train pilots, surgeons and the likes. It's a new technology in construction to train operators or future operators, and that's really its primary purpose, to take the novice from a basic level and build their confidence to a point where they're ready to go to the machine and continue their training. We also aim these actually at operators, as you mentioned earlier, with the attachment. So we're able to train them not how to drive the machine, we know they have that skill, but how to operate the attachment. So it could be a height and slew restriction device from GKD. It might be a GPS 3D machine control system. It could even be a tilt and rotate bucket, as you see in this image on the excavator here. But they're able to learn in a safe environment how to actually use that technology. We, or the trainers, are able to analyze their skill competencies and mitigate risk down. So you imagine you've seen these operators on site with a bank of screens around them, and do they know how to use this equipment in the correct, safe manner? If the training's not delivered correctly, then obviously no, and that's the primary purpose for the simulator.
And the thing for me, Simon, and why I think this is so important and why I've come here today, is the fact that we've got a massive skill shortage. A huge skill shortage. We've got a big problem with the fact that people don't want to come into the industry. We've got a problem with the generational gap, where a lot of operators that are now retiring, they learned how to operate because one of their parents was an operator and they sat there and they went into the cab on a Saturday, for example. That can't happen anymore because of health and safety. And we've got some really, really big projects like HS2, Highways England. And the last time I saw Tenstar Simulators, Simon, was actually at the Operator Training Hub, which is a joint venture between Flannery Plant Hire and Balfour Beatty as a Tier 1 contractor. And they're taking this very seriously, aren't they? Tier 1 contractors, and therefore the wider industry has to look out, don't they?
We all know there's a skills shortage in this area, so how do we attract the younger operators or the future operators into this? Well, we know a lot of them are from the gaming world, that they're very flexible hand-eye coordinations there. So if you put them in a simulator, as it would be on a machine, very quickly you'll analyze that they have a core skill, and that core skill can be developed. First of all, identified, developed, and with the right mentoring and tutoring, they'll become the future operators. So say at the beginning of an apprentice scheme, how do we filter the right ones to take through that apprentice scheme? A lot of the time, as you said earlier, it's a discussion about they've been on their dad's farm or something like that, clearing ditches. Yeah. That's like a tick in the box, yes, very good. But let's put them on here, let's log them into the system, and let's measure their abilities. And we can produce a report as well that'll actually tell us what that is. And from a contractor's point of view, when we're producing these sort of reports, again, that's documented evidence to actually say this person has the level of competencies, or if they didn't, they started at A and they ended up at Z in the training alphabet, and they've now got that competency, but it's actually documented. And it's the same system for every operator getting on it. So the measurement is the same bench all the way through. So if you compare a regular operator to a novice and show them what a regular operator is achieving on one of these, they then have a target to get to, and we can measure their progress towards that target.
And the great thing about that is that's positive encouragement as well, Simon, isn't it? Because you can see how somebody is progressing. You can say to me, who is absolutely useless, and I'd never be an operator, I had terrible hand-eye coordination, but you can say to me, Peter, you've actually come on, you know how to sit in the seat and put the seatbelt on, for starters, you know, and it's simple things like that that progress people through. But also with a simulator, what you're able to do is actually do what I call longevity training as well, which is really important, because people aren't just jumping in and out of these every 5 minutes. On site, we're doing hours of work, long shifts, big projects, busy sites. So with the simulation here, what have you actually been able to set up on this simulator that allows people to actually work in unison as well, I believe?
Yes, so a lot of our customer base is colleges, and we're talking about 10, 15 students in a room at one time. And with one simulator seat, that's rather prohibitive in how much training we can deliver. So if you had the picture now, we had another 3 simulators next to us, we could have the situation where we're building a highway. We've got an ADT backing underneath the 360 with another person in the ADT on the simulator. And then maybe that ADT is dropping the material in front of a dozer blade with a third simulator, and they're in this, what we term as a multi-machine environment. And that becomes very interesting because you've done the basic training, you may have done some of the attachments, but you're now elevating it to a live work scenario. And one of our latest additions is actually bringing in the site foreman or the banks person through the VR kit. So they enter the site and they've got full communication with the operators. Or it could just be somebody in and around the machine, standing in bad places, and they get a feeling for what the view perspective would be from an operator's point of view. We've had situations where archaeologists, engineers would sit in here for the simple fact we have a blind spot, we have a big lump of yellow metal here that's prohibiting the view to the right.
Yeah.
But they'll actually appreciate that because they're in the seat, and that's not often where they're going to be. They won't be there, but they won't look at that operator anymore thinking, why can't he see me with my high visibility equipment on? Because of the visibility restrictions they have.
And this is all about, you know, setting up the proper work site. I'm just going to duck down here, folks, because this is what Simon's talking about. VR set here, so I can be that site foreman. And actually, it's all about visualization with simulation as well, isn't it, Simon? So the most important thing, though, is how you can add different technologies into a simulation and into a work site. And so we've looked and said here, look, here's VR. But Simon, we've also got the brand new GKD Technologies integration, haven't we? Which you've just completed with them. And that's about looking at how you can do height and slew restriction. So that's really important on busy work sites. Say we're actually on a highways project. So there's a lot of people on rail jobs which are working on one area and obviously can't slew into another live track line, for example. But it's very simple to accidentally knock one of these joysticks. You know, if you do have a little sort of wiggle around in the cab or you're trying to look around for something else, very simple to do that, isn't it? That's why this technology has now been integrated. So tell me about what you've set up for us here, and I'm going to take this back off the seat, Simon, so you can sit in the seat and tell us a little bit more about it.
Yes, I'll jump in and we'll give you a quick demonstration of it.
So what we've done here, Simon's going to get himself set up and then he's going to talk through this with me. And basically what he's done is he's actually set up some restrictions through the system already, and we're going to go through that right now.
And I'm just going to quickly take you through the integration of the Tenstar simulator with the GKD height and slew restriction. So the first thing we're going to do is actually set a height range. So on the box we select the height limit. So we've got the machine in a particular position. We're going to say raise it to the point we want and say yes. That's now set the height. So as I lower the boom and then raise again, it actually restricts me. And as you can see, I'm pulling on the boom lever and there's no more hydraulic movement or output. Now we can do exactly the same in the slew range as well. So we go back to the GKD screen. Now we select a sector. So we're going to move the machine across to the right slew and set that position. So that could be an adjacent highway. And then we're going to move to the right and set the right hand side in exactly the same way. And then we activate that sector. So that now means when I slew the machine to the right, we can no longer slew to the right, it's physically cutting me out. And this is exactly why we've done this integration, to demonstrate also, first of all, how simple it is to use this technology, but to offer the operators of the future the ability to train and become competent and confident in the use of these systems.
So it's all about training, supporting people to become more productive and more efficient, and actually making sure that we bring the next generation through into our industry, which we desperately need. So it's a big thank you from me, and it's thank you from you, Simon.
Thank you.